You are listening to the Why Smart Women podcast, the podcast that helps smart women work out why we repeatedly make the wrong decisions and how to make better ones. From relationships, career choices, finances, to faux fur jackets and kale smoothies. Every moment of every day, we're making decisions. Let's make them good ones. I'm your host, Annie McCubbin, and as a woman of a certain age, I've made my own share of really bad decisions. Not my husband. I don't mean him, though. I did go through some shockers to find him. And I wish this podcast had been around to save me from myself. This podcast will give you insights into the working of your own brain, which will blow your mind. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm recording and you are listening on this day. Always was, always will be, Aboriginal land. Well, hello, smart women, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Why Smart Women podcast. I'm going to open today's proceedings by reading a comment written on a video, and the comment goes thus. I would never trust mainstream pharmacy or ever justify drugs, just accept death. It's called the circle of life. I'd rather have quality than unnecessary side effects which are poisoning of the body. I think it's a massive red fucking flag having pharmacists or doctors or anyone from pharma enabling and encouraging drug use. You have insurance to get away with abuse and harm. It's a red flag. We are not compatible with poisons. The body is made up of everything we need. We just need to support it and learn to accept death. That's it. Hello, Kate Thomas.
Hello, Annie. There's quite a lot to discuss there, isn't there?
Yes, there is a lot. So this was a comment that was made on a video that you posted about the BRCA gene, correct?
That's right.
Do explain.
I did an educational explanatory video on the BRCA gene, the two different types of mutations and what they mean. So it was a very sort of high level, I would say, first year university kind of level biology 90-second TikTok.
Okay, so let's back the truck up. What do you mean by the BRCA gene and the variations on it? Because there's plenty of people out there, including me, that are not very well schooled in that.
So the BRCA stands for words I can't remember, BRCA, and there's two different types of gene mutations that can occur in the 1 type gene and in the 2 type gene. And you will probably famously remember that Angelina Jolie electively had her breasts removed.
So this is in relation to breast cancer?
Because she was found to have one of the types of mutations, and it is it's a perfectly reasonable conversation to have because having surgery to remove either your uterus or your breasts or both is actually preventative in people with these types of mutations.
Right. So what would happen is I would go and have a genetic test.
Correct.
And to test if these genes are present, and if the genes are present, it's going to predispose me and elevate my risk of certain reproductive cancers. Is that right?
That's right. And I'm not a geneticist or a doctor, as it turns out.
But you're a pharmacist and you're married to a doctor.
And
in my mind, that counts.
No, it definitely counts. I suppose I was just going to say, I think the conversation would be more along the lines of perhaps my sister or my mother or maybe both or other members of my family have been diagnosed with a particular type of cancer. I can then go along and be genetically tested to see if I have this mutation. And if I do, the conversation then becomes, how would I like to proceed with the knowledge that I have? And a part of that conversation is having this preventative surgery.
So, and you had a 90-second sort of
I think
a little discussion?
Probably wasn't any more involved or interesting than what I've just said then. It wasn't like I was saying anything radical.
Like go and get everything chopped off and also to take a lot of poisons into your body. You weren't saying that.
I was not saying that. I think I did start my TikTok video with here's what big wellness won't tell you, because the wellness people I see online love nothing more than to start their videos with here's what big pharma won't tell you.
Here's what doctors won't tell you.
Yeah.
Is the biggest frigging red flag
Of all time.
because this notion that scientists and pharmaceuticals and doctors are all hunkered down, gatekeeping cures to things.
Yeah.
When they're and the other implication in that is that they're all just getting so much money on the side.
That's right.
Because you're really wealthy, aren't you? Aren't you like super wealthy?
Super wealthy. You can tell by all my yachts and my private jets.
Which I haven't been invited on.
Well, that's because you're not wealthy enough.
Okay. I'm not quality. I'm not. Does it help that I played a doctor? Does that?
Oh, actually, thank you for mentioning that. Have you seen Noah Wiley? So he has got a video out at the moment, and he's so brilliant because you could do this too, Annie. But he basically says, I'm Noah Wiley. I play Dr. Rabinovich on The Pit, and I have previously played Dr. Carter on ER. But I, like you, am not a real doctor. But then he goes on, and it's I won't ruin it for people who are now. But go and look it up because it's very, very funny.
Yeah, I love him, and the premise is correct, right? Stop going online.
He says, I was chosen because I have a trustworthy face and can deliver complicated medical terminology. But I, like you, am not a doctor. And it was just so poignant because, of course, that's true.
Well, it's true. In fact, I was yesterday I was talking on the YouTube channel for recovering from religion.
Oh.
And
wow.
And we talked about the way our brains are so easily influenced by a good-looking face, and especially one that has a very symmetrical jaw.
Oh.
Yeah, we love that.
Okay.
The brains go, you're tall, you're good-looking, you've got a symmetrical jaw. Whatever it is you're selling me, I'm buying it.
Charismatic.
So, of course. So back to this notion. So you had the override, the arc of it was, or the premise of it was, what big wellness. Now, what was the premise? Tell me.
Well, the premise was really just here's what it is, and if you are found to have this mutation, you need a conversation with someone who's qualified to talk you through it, not a detox tea. There's no amount of selenium that's going to get you through a BRCA mutation conversation.
But what happens is people do go online and they do listen to an influencer or a mumfluencer.
Yes.
And they tell you that if you detox, have a colonic. Is that going to help with your...
I think that there is a whole lot of guff out there about how you can reduce your risk from developing these cancers if you just support your body appropriately, because your body has everything it needs to fight all these different things, as if the people who are suffering from various cancers and illnesses have been neglectful.
Yeah, well, yes. And there you're back in that awful sort of insidious, pernicious idea, which is if you are ill, you created it.
And I guess, I suppose,
it's your fault.
If you are, if you've smoked a packet of cigarettes every week since you were 15, then perhaps being diagnosed with a lung cancer at 80 isn't a surprise. And I don't think there's a single person out there who picks up a cigarette and goes, yeah, I'm making a really healthy choice for myself. In the same way that when I pick up a glass of alcohol, I'm not thinking, gosh, this is a wonderful health tonic I'm giving myself. I know that by drinking alcohol, I am increasing my risk of various things.
Can you not say that in front of me? Can you just pretend
Yeah,
that you didn't say that?
that it's actually got
A health tonic.
antioxidant.
So good.
Remember at one point there,
Resveratrol.
at one point there, we were trying to pretend that a glass of red wine every night was going to be cardioprotective. And
We did. We pretend, and
Yeah.
I'm still pretending that.
yeah, me too.
I like that narrative.
But I understand that that's a choice that I'm making.
That's
so
right.
I suppose that there are some poor choices that people make, but there are also many unlucky people.
It's just goddamn luck.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, it is. It is because there's also that person who develops a lung cancer, never smoked, and then there's also that person who's smoked and drunk every day of their life and lives till they're
96 and they're
So,
just incredible. Yeah. But I think the interesting, if we go back to the comment, if we take it apart, okay, so let's start from the beginning. I would never trust mainstream pharmacy or ever justify drugs, just accept death. I mean, that's a very instructive and directive statement, isn't it? What if I don't want to just accept death at 40?
Well, I think that sounds to me like the words of a very healthy person.
Young.
No, and I don't know. I don't know who this
Ill.
I don't know who Elle is, so I don't know if she's a 42-year-old mum of 3 who's just been diagnosed with a triple negative breast cancer, or if Elle is a 21-year-old
who has
detox teas and red light
smoothies.
therapy every day. I don't know, but I'm going out on a limb to say that Elle is a generally healthy person because there is a difference between what does she say about death?
Okay, so I would never trust mainstream pharmacy or ever justify drugs. She didn't put a comma, which really disturbs me, but I'm going to forgive her that. Ever justify drugs, just accept death.
So just accepting.
It's as an extension of that, she's then written. After weirdly, there is a picture of a young face there, like a emoji. Anyway, it's called The Circle of Life.
Oh, yes. So I think that there is accepting death at the end of a long illness and appropriate palliative care as emotional maturity. And then there's just accept death as in I couldn't possibly enter into a conversation about anything else because my mind is so closed down and I'm so worried and petrified of it that I can't think logically about it.
Well, hang on. So I mean, I think when something is in the, it's like the absolute privilege of people that grow their own organic vegetables and slaughter their own chickens and wander around in white linen in immaculate kitchens with blonde-haired children, who are drinking pressed apple juice that they've got from the orchard. There is that intense privilege of people that talk about the life that you can lead if you want to remain healthy and keep disease at bay. There's those people, and there's a lot of them.
And try hard enough.
And yeah, that's right. So from that position, I think it's very easy for death to remain as a distant destination that is probably only reached by people who didn't goddamn well take care of themselves.
And also, your listeners won't know, but I also work in palliative care community service. It's a nurse-led service, and it's an amazing community palliative care service. And we go out and we see people in their own homes, and we administer palliative care. Palliative care is actually a holistic approach to end of life. And it can sit alongside active treatment, but it is very supportive in terms of quality of life and caring for the carer in an emotional and practical way. So that is how I would define palliative care. And the number of people so dying isn't easy. As a human body, it's not easy. People don't just close their eyes and drift off without a struggle, because you can't wellness your way through it. It's really beyond your capabilities by that time. So my dear grandma at age 99 went to sleep and didn't wake up. We should all be so lucky. But most people really struggle. And for her to say in a TikTok comment that just accept death and not to have any kind of pharmaceutical support is unbelievably rude. And
arrogant.
And without any understanding of the kind of suffering. I mean, when I read it, I must say, and it doesn't speak well about me, but I did think when I read it, I thought, well, you enjoy your palliative care then, because actually it's not so easy.
And I myself know very little about palliative care. I mean, my friend my friend that died of brain tumour. We had just organised the palliative care for her, and then she died. So I never got to that point of seeing what they do. And I guess collectively in our minds that are unfamiliar with it, it's this. In my mind, it's like you just bring somebody in for the month before, and it's not that, is it? It can be quite long, can it?
So, in community palliative care, it can go right alongside active treatment. It can start really, really early.
Like how early?
Oh, as early as you want. You can have your introduction to your palliative care physician at the same time you have your introduction to your oncologist. There's no reason the two can't sit side by side, and being admitted into palliative care in no way means you're giving up. In no way does it mean that.
Okay, so just explain to me. So if you're palliative, though, does that mean that whatever pharmaceuticals or treatment you're given is not presumed to be curative?
No, not at all. So you can have active treatment with your oncologist and have symptom control with your palliative care physician along the same time. You can also dip in and out of palliative care. It's not like once you get admitted to palliative care, you have to stay there for forever. You can have an admission into palliative care because you've got horrendous pain, or you've got horrible bowel issues, or, whatever symptom it is. They can sort you out, they can discharge you, and need not see you again for months if that's not what you need.
Right. Okay. So this is I'm learning a lot, because I did not understand the breadth of it, or the different pathways it could take.
And I don't think you're alone in not understanding that, because we don't talk about end of life terribly well in our Western culture, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I think that there is a huge void of knowledge in the general public.
Agree.
But I guess to bring it back to the comment, it was such a ridiculous thing to say, like, just accept death.
Just accept it.
But also she goes on to say that the body has everything.
Oh, okay. So let's read the next sentence, because I think the reason that we're deep diving into this one comment is that it is we see these ideas, these premises repeated continually in the wellness sphere, do we not?
That's
so
right.
Variations on a theme. So one of the themes is so after it's called the Circle of Life. So, Simba, you are my son. I'd rather have quality than unnecessary side effects, which is poisoning of the body. So here we are, and then I think it's a massive red fucking flag having pharmacists or doctors or anyone from pharma enabling and encouraging drug use. So here we are back at this notion that pharmaceuticals and science is just promoting unnecessary drug use because they want to toxify you and they make money from it, as opposed to big wellness, which is going to offer you, it's going to offer you a supplement, or it's going to offer you a detox, or it's going to offer you a tea or something which is going to support your natural healing properties of your perfect body, and which we now know it can have some very toxic effects, do we not?
Not only that, because it's unregulated, the effects can be highly variable. But not only that, Annie, that the wellness industry makes more money than Big Pharma
5 times more
ever does. I don't know from her comment whether she's also anti-wellness, and I can only assume that if your body has everything you need, then there's no need for a detox tea or a supplement or any kind of wellness.
No, I don't reckon she is, because the last thing she says after the confusing statement about you have insurance to get away with abuse and harm.
I didn't know my insurance was for that.
Yeah, it is, Kate.
Well, maybe I could
do some abuse and harm.
And then,
I mean, you're insured for it.
And I've been paying for it, so I might as well
Get out there. Do some abuse
Start
and harm.
abusing.
Yeah, I'll go with you. I like it. We are not, the reason we think that she's probably pro-wellness, we are not compatible with poisons. Okay.
Well, I suppose that's true. I mean, I'm not.
Well, it depends on the dose, doesn't it? Isn't it dose dependent?
That's very true.
The body is made up of everything we need. We just need to support it and learn to accept death. That's it. So she's given herself away in the word support.
Support. I also wonder how she feels about if my body has everything that I need. I guess I don't need food. I don't need water.
You don't need water.
And I don't need...
I like people that didn't wear masks during COVID because God wanted them to breathe, but then were wearing glasses in the TikToks. I'm like, well, what did God forget your eyes?
Yeah.
What's going on with your glasses?
So
what are you wearing glasses for?
The premise that my body has everything. Look, my body, your body, everyone's body, they are amazing. They are amazing miracles of evolution, right? So I agree with her. My body is amazing. However, I suppose that back in the dark ages, when nobody was using electricity or flushing toilets or driving electric cars or living in lovely apartment buildings or being able to go to the supermarket.
Clean water in a tap.
That they also didn't have all these toxic poisons that we call pharmaceuticals. That's
Everyone
true.
lived.
And everyone lived
forever.
forever and so well and healthily and nobody was dying
Of anything, because this is my constant catch cry, is that the idea that when we lived, free and only ate organic food and wandered around drinking from pristine streams and I don't know where we went to the toilet, but that apparently isn't a problem.
in the pristine
stream that we then drank from. Anyway, that when during those times, of course, if you got a cut, you could die from it.
No, you couldn't, Annie.
No,
because
you
the
couldn't.
body has
the
everything
body
that
healing.
it needs.
Your body is its own pharmacist or something, isn't it? Its own pharmacy.
Just everything that you need.
Everything that you need, and they never got any diseases, and they never got the Black Plague, and that was great.
No, never got the. Well, I mean, I guess you only got the Black Plague perhaps if you were careless and
it went near a flea from a rat, and you never got cholera from the water.
It's not a logical conversation, and it seems to me to be a values-based conversation rather than a logical healthcare conversation.
What do you mean by that?
Because I guess I'm struggling to understand how any logically thinking person could say this. So I think what my tiny mind is trying to come to terms with is that she has based her self-esteem, her values on being in control, and she's in control because she can do a whole bunch of risk mitigation, like supporting her own body, which means that these horrible outcomes that happen to other people won't happen to her
because she's been careful.
Because she's been careful.
And she hasn't gone down the pharmaceutical toxic path.
Mm-hmm.
She's gone down I'm just going to take the natural. And then we're back in the appeal to nature bias, which is just pretty much, it's right up there. The appeal to nature bias, where we infer upon wellness that it's natural and we infer upon pharmaceuticals that they are unnatural. So she's on that. And I guess then you get into a very strong, it becomes an identity, doesn't it?
That's right.
My body is my temple.
I think that was what I was trying to get at when I was saying it was a values-based. It's really her identity and not really anything you can have a conversation about or change her mind about. And I suppose if she is a little 21-year-old, super healthy, detox tea drinking, red light wearing little thing, then I guess she's allowed to.
Is she?
Oh well,
it's annoying.
I mean, it is annoying, but I don't know. You're allowed to say some stupid stuff when you're young, and then change your mind when you're having your baby and you need an epidural, or you're having your baby and they need something because having a baby's not easy, or when your mum gets a horrible
disease,
life-limiting illness, and I guess I'm trying, Annie, to be generous.
You are
trying. It doesn't come naturally to me.
No, me neither. I'm just sick of them. I'm sick of them, and I struggle with being generous and with these sort of posts, is because unfortunately, in the current environment, opinion has been democratized and anybody can say anything, which means that expert opinion is now on the same platform as someone that's, read a Facebook post on the toilet.
I think that this comment came to me yesterday, and Tuesdays I work in the palliative care service, so it came to me at a particular time where I found it incredibly offensive because I'd spent the day with a youngish family. So by youngish, I mean the parents are younger than I am, and I'm in my late 40s, and I'm calling that young. And they have 4 children, the oldest of which is only 19, and I have a 20-year-old son, and my 20-year-old son, he's 6'1" and he's gorgeous, right? Like he's like a god.
I know him. I love him.
This 19-year-old boy is non-verbal. He's got such bad dystonias.
What's dystonia?
It's where your muscles are rigid. So his muscles are so rigid, he can't sit. He's a stiff board. He's having these muscle contractions that mean
What was he born like this, or he developed it?
He was born with the problem, but he is progressively getting worse. So he didn't start off.
What's the problem?
I can't remember his diagnosis. It's a very rare, complicated diagnosis. But to have read that comment after spending the day with these people, I just felt was so offensive.
It is offensive. It's like they're not engaged with reality, and they're just going down a very, very, very narrow pathway, and there's no theory of mind in it. It's like to sit in somebody else's shoes
and
for a minute.
You're saying there that
die.
The reason that this little boy, this little 19-year-old boy is in this state is because
is he palliative?
He has a life-limiting illness, yes. So he's not dying today, but he is.
But also the knock-on effects for that family, right, of living.
Well, and this comment saying, if you'd managed it better, this wouldn't be a problem. He was born with everything he needed. You've mismanaged it, and now look at him. And
now you're going to go and put poisoning unnecessary. You're going to put poisoning in his body, which is going to have unnecessary side effects.
And now you're saying to this family of two parents and 3 other siblings, that you should be no treatment. He should be
just allowed to die.
He should just be allowed
because death is natural
to die, because death is natural. So don't relieve his suffering or your existential suffering, or forget that. Just accept death as if you can close your eyes and drift off. It is unbelievably offensive
and uneducated. And that's the other thing, is that these voices are so uneducated and yet vociferous.
Yes,
aren't they?
And it's really.
What about this? We are not compatible with poisons.
Well, I guess so. You're right. I mean, something is
dependent on the dose.
Well, yeah. So let's think about that. Well,
there's all that stuff about never ever have chemo because it's poisonous. But so just die.
If you overate, let's think of a good example where something is really natural. If you overate on green smoothies, you would suffer diarrhea and abdominal cramping. And
I don't want that.
That would be a side effect of the overdose you've given yourself on your green smoothie.
Right.
So 1 green smoothie a day, probably fine. But if you were having 1 every 15 minutes because more is more, then, like your body's not compatible with that poison.
Yes, that's right. But if I have enough green smoothies, will I never die? And that's my question to you. Because that's what I'm thinking.
Well, I can't form a coherent sentence around that because
I can. I'm never going to die because I'm going to just detox myself just on a permanent basis. I mean, we make jokes about it, but the thinking is just so nuts. It's like conspiratorial thinking, which is sort of the whole wellness thing is a conspiracy in a way because they've turned normal healthcare into the enemy, have they not?
That's right.
And turned healthcare into just a conspiracy that just wants to poison you and take your money.
And look, again, I don't know, maybe Elle, I love to, poor old America.
Do you want to meet Elle?
I would like to think she lives in America because I like to think that the American healthcare system is
so shit,
so broken and so shit that they've almost brought this upon themselves by, enabling people to take kickbacks from pharmaceutical companies and also the oxycodone crisis. And, whereas I feel like surely nobody in Australia with our amazing healthcare system, not that I'm saying it's perfect, it's not perfect.
Yeah, but comparatively.
It's pretty fucking amazing, would surely be saying this. So I guess I don't know where she comes from. She may come
There's
from...
plenty of that in Australia.
Yeah.
There is plenty.
That's disappointing for me to hear.
Yeah, I know. But you have to hear it because I follow Australian influencers. I wish I didn't, but I have to. And it's very prevalent in Australia, the notion that you can follow a pristine diet. Clean eating's one of my all-time absolute favourite hating things. Clean, so linked to sort of being virginal and
great word.
This is disgusting. But if you clean eat and detox and have a tincture, then you're fine. And if you go to a doctor, you're a loser.
Yeah.
You've given in to the enemy.
So somehow science-based medicine has enabled a gap, and wellness fueled by the rise of social media has just stepped in to fill that gap with reassuring words and positive vibes.
Certainty. That's the issue that we've got. They're certain. They're not. It's not a complex thing to diagnose you or cure you. It's simple.
And I have luckily I sell the solution.
Yeah, so it's all in one fell swoop. I go in, they look at me, they go, "You've got adrenal fatigue," and then the number of people that have said to me, "I have adrenal fatigue."
Because your adrenal gland gets really tired.
He's tired.
He is tired.
Wants to have a little lie down.
He needs to have a little nap because he's weary.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess the thing is looking at that, and I think we have successfully unpacked it. There's just the thinking in that is incredibly flawed, but it's pernicious.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I just needed to get it off my chest, so I sent it to you.
Yeah. So before we go, can I just briefly ask you, because I'm personally interested about the efficacy of magnesium and the way it is administered, because it appears to me, if I go online, is that it will do everything.
Well, magnesium is really essential and deeply unsexy. And I might say, and then you can cut this out if this is no good, but I was going to say in I think the podcast that I released last week, episode 6 of On the Moans, I do a deep dive into magnesium because magnesium is, as I say, essential, and you can take it orally and you can have it infused, and in the right circumstance, replacing it's important. The vast majority of people are not magnesium deficient, so replacing it is unnecessary.
So how do I find out if I am magnesium deficient?
Well, that's super easy because a full blood count will tell you that.
So, so I can go and find out I'm magnesium deficient, and then, okay.
Having said that, though, if you're constipated and you need relief, magnesium citrate will get that job done.
Okay, so it's good for constipation. If I am magnesium deficient, which I will find out through having a blood test, then I could have an infusion of it.
You can have an infusion of that.
Or I could take it orally.
So infusing it is obviously far more, it works far better because it's going straight in and it doesn't require your gut to do any absorbing. So a magnesium infusion is the way, if you were found to be profoundly magnesium insufficient, they would replace that for you in hospital. There is some evidence around magnesium and prevention of migraine, but it's in the...
Didn't work for me.
Well, yeah, so exactly. So it's in the, I don't know, give it a go. It probably no harm, and it might help kind of category. It's not in the this will absolutely solve you category.
Yeah, sure. So it's low levels of evidence. What about rubbing it on my skin?
So if we just think about it logically for a moment, your skin is designed to keep things out. It's designed to keep the insides in and the outsides out. So out of the thousands and tens and hundreds of thousands of medicines that we use, only a very small fraction of those are able to be absorbed transdermally, so through your skin, because that's how efficient your skin is as a barrier.
Oh, like HRT.
That's right. So HRT patches are a feat of pharmaceutical engineering to be able to get it from the patch.
But I'd put a gel.
Again, amazing pharmaceutical engineering. And that'll be because of the size of the molecule, the way that it's been manufactured, and then the way your skin absorbs it. Magnesium. So if you think about your skin for a minute, your skin is fatty, right? Like, I know that's not an insult.
I'm calling me fat.
Body shaming you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But your skin has a fatty layer under it that just is how it is. Magnesium, remember back to chemistry when you were at school, magnesium is a magnesium plus molecule.
Yeah.
So it's got positive valency, and remember, positive things and fatty things don't mix. So now you're suggesting that putting a positively charged molecule on your skin
is going to
make it through a fatty layer that your body has designed to keep things out.
So that's not going to work.
That's not going to work.
So what about if I take a supplement, magnesium supplement?
Yeah, so supplements are absorbed orally to varying degrees.
To treat what? To treat what?
Yeah, so the magnesium oxide will pull water into your bowel and cause you to poop. Yep. If that's what you need. Magnesium glycinate is the one that's around at the moment, and magnesium theanine they're the two that are around at the moment that are being pushed by wellness for muscle support and for sleep support and
yeah. This is what I hear all the time. Does
brain
it work?
support and stuff like that. And there's no good evidence that if you are not magnesium deficient, then adding more magnesium helps these things.
So that the notion of taking a magnesium supplement after a big game of footy to help my muscles or to take magnesium at night to help me sleep.
Yeah.
There's no evidence for it, but so I guess it's placebo.
There's no evidence for it. So perhaps what you've done is you've created a nice bedtime ritual.
Yeah.
And that's helped you wind your mind down, and therefore you are now sleeping. And I guess if that's an experience if that's a valid experience that you've had, then good on you.
Well, then we're in the land of correlation and causation, aren't we?
That's another conversation,
which we will have next time.
Let's have it next time.
Let's have the correlation causation conversation next time.
Okay.
But I think that was interesting, and I do like that idea of getting a comment, which these comments are so sort of definitive and so sort of dismissive. And I think taking it apart, statement by statement, is a really cool thing to do.
Well, you're
and
welcome.
I think we do that together.
You.
That's good. I think it's good. Okay, so that was really, really good. And I hope if any of you are dealing with these complex medical situations, or you think that you might be, please seek proper medical support by someone who's actually done some training, has been to university and has studied some things.
Can I add one thing, Annie?
Please.
Sorry, just before you sign off. But don't forget that not doing something is considered harm as well. So just because you have, say for example, you have put off seeing your oncologist because you're seeing a wellness practitioner, and that wellness practitioner is supporting you with magnesium supplements. So the magnesium supplement itself is not doing you any harm.
But going to the oncologist.
Lack of not seeing the oncologist in a timely fashion is doing harm, and the TGA has labelled that as causing harm.
So the TGA is the Australian Therapeutic Goods Administration.
That's right.
That is very, very interesting, because the skeptics always take apart the notion that the Skeptic Society in Australia, and I think probably in the United States and wherever as well, always take apart this notion that if someone's going to see a naturopath or whatever, then people go, well, where's the harm? Where's the harm in that? Let them do it. Well, there's a lot of harm, because it co-opts certain parts of your brain, and you're going to start thinking, this is going to heal me. I don't need this. And as we know, people then leave it too late. They get to a proper doctor, and the doctor says, I'm so sorry. If you'd come a year ago, we could have actually impacted this, and now we can't. It's a very good point. So smart women, wherever you are in the world, seek proper medical help. Don't listen to ponytailed girls who can do an efficient downward dog for your medical advice, because they don't know what they're talking about. Thank you so much, Kate.
You're welcome.
We will be talking again very soon. We're going to make it a regular thing. Stay safe, stay well, keep your critical thinking hats on. See you later. Bye. Thanks for tuning into Why Smart Women with me, Annie McCubbin. I hope today's episode has ignited your curiosity and left you feeling inspired by my anti-motivational style. Join me next time as we continue to unravel the fascinating layers of our brains and develop ways to sort out the fact from the fiction and the over 6,000 thoughts we have in the course of every day. Remember, intelligence isn't enough. You can be as smart as paint, but it's not just about what you know, it's about how you think. And in all this talk of whether or not you can trust your gut, if you ever feel unsafe, whether it's in the street, at work, in a car park, in a bar, or in your own home, please respect that gut feeling. Staying safe needs to be our primary objective. We can build better lives, but we have to stay safe to do that. And don't forget to subscribe, rate and review the podcast, and share it with your fellow smart women and allies. Together, we're hopefully reshaping the narrative around women and making better decisions. So until next time, stay sharp, stay savvy, and keep your critical thinking hat shiny. This is Annie McCubbin signing off from Why Smart Women. See you later. This episode was produced by Harrison Hess. It was executive produced and written by me, Annie McCubbin.